Hello, hello, hello. It's been a hot minute since I have been live on video, but I'm really happy to be back. It's Karen here from Salt and Sand Studios right in central Vermont. We had a really wonderful eclipse day in terms of the folks we had around us, the beautiful weather. We were right in the path of totality, so that was really cool. We had chatter and laughter and snacks and glass blowing and gosh, it was just a ball. Anyway, today we are going to focus on loving kindness and especially loving kindness for ourselves. It's sort of in honor of the transitions that we make into spring, but also the changes that come from things like eclipses and job changes and family changes and births and deaths and the like. And it's also a bit in preparation for the retreat that we are doing at the end of June, which starts June 21st. And everyone is welcome. We have space for about 7 to 8 people to stay here. But if you are local or you prefer to stay somewhere else, you are welcome to do that as well. And you can call me. We can talk about pricing for that. But in the meantime, let's get started in this little prep approach of loving kindness. We're going to work on a body scan, a meditation, a mudra, a hand gesture, and a slow practice. Gentle, but a few things might be a little tough. I'm going to try a couple things, not necessarily for the first time for myself, but maybe the third and the first for you. So if you'd like to lie down or place your back against a wall, feel free. So we're going to start with a body scan and then move into the meditation. So just first, take a little wiggle wobble of your head and maybe a little shrug of your shoulders, just finding a little space. And then let the shoulders relax. If you're seated, the hands can be on your thighs or in your lap. The chin is slightly tucked, and we don't want the mouth clamping. So you might take the tip of the tongue, place it just behind the top teeth. We check in with the toes, the feet, the heels. Notice what we notice. If there's anything that's feeling tight or full of negative energy, just kind of tuck that away in your brain just for this practice. We're going to move up to the ankles. What sensations do you have there? The calves and shins. The knees, front and back. The thighs, all the way around the upper leg. Sometimes there's a lot more going on in the hamstrings than in the quads, or maybe it's equal. Is that a place where you're holding stress or negative energy? Move into the hips, the pelvis area, maybe even the glutes. Is there a tightness or a soreness? Is there an emotion being held? The lower belly, the low back. The upper back, the shoulder blades, the chest. What about the back of the neck? The throat. Any tightness or weakness or hunchedness, not a word, across the collarbones and into the shoulders. The tops of the arms. Sometimes that's a place where we hold stress. A sort of clenching of the biceps and the triceps. The elbows, often following lots of winter sport, or maybe too many chaturangas. The elbows often can feel a little wonky. What about the forearms? The wrists. And the hands, check both the palms and the backs of the hands, because sometimes there's not a lot going on in the palms and there's a ton going on in the backs of the hands. Little crickles and crackles. What about the thumbs and the fingers? Moving to the jaw. Notice if you're clenching your teeth, if the jaw is tight, especially the space right in front of the ears. The upper lip. Sometimes we're tightening or pursing that upper lip when we can bring a soft smile to the face to loosen it. Cheekbones. What about all of the nerves and the muscles around the eyes, the eye sockets? The forehead and the top of the head. If you're experiencing some of this body scanning like I do, I often get a little tingling at the top of my head, on my scalp or the crown. It's almost as if my intuition becomes very aware of what's going on in the body. Now come back to that scan as if you're taking a look at the summary, the overview, the picture, the highlights, and select 2 places where things didn't feel maybe the best. They maybe felt tight, maybe emotional, maybe uncomfortable, maybe not at ease. And send your breath there. Imagine perhaps the breath coming from the ribs and the lungs and also through the heart space, the wheel of the energetic compassion, the color of green. And maybe that color green extends itself into those places. For me, my quads. And then for me, from the heart, the breath to the back of the neck. I'm going to drop the hands. Make some circles with your head. Woo! I got a plate today. On the other direction. Chin comes parallel to the earth. Shrug the shoulders, squeeze them up to the ears. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Send the shoulders forward, sort of a hunchy thing, and then down. And again, up, squeeze, hold the breath, and breathe out, forward and down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Take it the other way. Inhale, shrug up. Draw the shoulders behind you. Release on the breath out. Ah, that feels good. 2 more. Let's take the fingertips on the ground to the outsides of the hips and float the left arm high for a tilt over to the right. Loosen the ankles and the feet. And we windmill all that to the other side. We'll work a little back bend, drawing the shoulders over the hips, the arms overhead. Cactus shape, arms. This is an even cactus instead of one of the wonky cacti. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, drop the hands behind you. Maybe the fingers intertwine, or you curl the fingers to hook, and we draw the knuckles toward the earth. If you've dumped all the energy into your lower back, draw the belly in. You want the to work from the mid-back up through the neck. We're going to switch this now to a fold. So draw the belly in a lot, maintain your bind, fold over your legs, and maybe your bound hands lift from your spine. Maybe they don't. Nod the head, shake the head. Beautiful. Inhale, upright, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. I promised a mudra and a meditation. We're going to take that, the palms draw together. You're going to keep the pinky fingers, the thumbs, and the heels of the hands glued together. I'm going to create this little blossom right at the heart. So you're opening up the other 3 fingers of each hand if you have all of your fingers. So we're keeping the outer edge of the hand connected, except the top. It's like this little flower. This is the Padma mudra, and it is the mudra of unconditional love. It's kind of like a flower, as if your love is coming out of your heart and into the base of that flower, and then the flower is helping that love spread. So let's take a little meditation. Close your eyes. Consider a being you love unconditionally. Picture them in front of you, knowing that they too suffer. They have problems in their lives. They have concerns and worries. They are suffering. And as an individual who loves them unconditionally, we can use our breath to cleanse, to peel out some of that suffering. So we breathe in, imagining that we're drawing away from them their suffering. And as we breathe out, we're breathing into them love and compassion, loving kindness. Now bring in front of you, into your mind, a person you don't know very well, or a being you don't know very well. You might notice them, you might acknowledge them, say hello at the store or the local restaurant or on your walks outdoors, but you don't really know them. Picture them in front of you, and again, notice that they too, like us, suffer, and they would prefer not to. So we'll go ahead and draw some of that suffering outward using our in-breath and replace it with loving kindness on the out-breath. And finally, picture yourself either as you were some time ago, maybe yesterday, maybe today, maybe a future you. And seeing in your own eyes that you suffer. Give yourself the opportunity to draw away that suffering and bring in loving kindness. Maintain your mudra or press your palms together and consider an intention for this practice. We'll use a silent om to spread that around us like a foundation for the remainder of the practice, which is based more on movement. We'll take a deep breath in for a silent om. Palms draw together. Go ahead and extend the feet. You can remain on your prop if you're still on it. Reach the heels away from you. Draw the belly in and up. Reach the toes inward toward you and get nice and tall. We're going to face the left knee and walk the hands down the outside of it. You're working so the heart is reaching past your toes as opposed to the head dropping toward your thigh, your knee, or your shin. Take it easy, be gentle. Our first set of movements. Rise up to your seat, face the center. Starting with the belly and the heart, we draw forward. Use an exhale to rise to your seat. And this time we face the right knee and take those shenanigans on this side. Once again, rise to your seat, face the center, and hard forward and down. Breath out brings you upright. Soles of the feet draw together. You're going to have a nice big diamond inside your legs. Scoot your wrists underneath your ankles. Draw your heart forward. Your elbows will help the knees spread away and down. Welcome to stay here, reaching your heart past your toes, or maybe you round your spine and drop your head. Rise back up, our final seated position in this part of the class. Soles of the feet on the ground, hands either by your hips or behind you. See if you can place your palms fully on the ground, but we're not kind of sinking in to the back here. We're keeping the belly and the chest slightly active. Feet as wide as your mat, knees pressed together. And we're going to take that windshield wiper movement. My dad used to have a song in the car when it was raining, but I don't remember what it was called. Yeah, there's something about see the windshield wipers wiping. Going to land on one side for a moment. See if you can get both sitting bones on the earth. A little torso twist. And then take it to the other side. Find your way into a child's pose. In our in-studio class, this is where I would love to come and assist you, finding a bit of a stretch, but we're going to imagine that our breath is providing that same service. Big toes touch, knees wide, bottom toward your heels, spine long, head resting on something. If that needs to be a prop it up. Arms long in front. We breathe in all the way up the spine. And we breathe out all the way down the spine and across the low back. We're going to take a little twist, lifting the head off the mat. You're going to take your right arm and scooch it underneath the left, but you're going to keep the palm facing downward. So you can do that little Addams Family thing where thing crawls away, and then maybe you bring your head down, maybe not. Keep working the sitting bones toward the heels. The stretching out of the upper back and the shoulders, we're going to take that to the other side. So unravel your pretzel and work it the other way. Unravel, draw your way into a tabletop. Knees right under your hips, wrists right underneath your shoulders. Tap the tops of the feet onto the earth. If you're a drummer, find something rhythmic. If you're not a drummer, maybe there's no rhythm, or maybe there's some sort of something going on. Tuck your toes under, send your sitting bones toward your heels, and really stretch the soles of the feet, drop your head. Come forward, untuck your toes, a cow shape where the belly drops, the gaze and the hips lift. Breathe out, press the ground away for a cat shape. Lots of animal shapes in yoga. And I don't know if that's all sort of westernized stuff. Some of it, like half split Arhanasana, is after the sort of god that looks like a monkey, but I don't think there's a Sanskrit word for a zebra. Okay, we're going to work balance, a nice strong spine. So you're going to take your right foot, extend it behind you, square up your hips. And then maintaining the squareness of your hips, you're going to slowly point the toes away from you, tap the right toes down, and then lift again. Tap, nice and slow, and lift. Tap, and lift, and tap, and lift. Bend that right leg as if you're stepping on the sky, and either reach around with your left hand to take a hold of your pant leg or your foot, or pump the leg up and down. We're taking a quad stretch here. If your hand is connected to something on that right leg or foot, reach the heart forward, press the hand into the foot and the foot into the hand. Arm and leg both come long, even if you weren't using the arm. Nice balance, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend out. Drop the hand to the mat and then swing your right leg to the left side of your mat. So it's coming over the left calf. The top of the foot is coming onto the ground. You shouldn't be on your mat now with that foot, I mean. And then you're going to glide the foot out and back, drawing the front of your right hip toward your left heel. You may come onto forearms. You should be feeling this on the left side, the glutes. So if you have more space to work with or you're not feeling anything, you're tuck the right toes under, float the knee off the mat, and then find a little forward and backward movement. I sure feel it here. Rise back to your tabletop, square up the hips, draw your right knee toward your right tricep, round the spine a lot, extend the leg, and bring the knee down. That might have been a little fast, but no worries. You've got it going on. You're going to find the shapes in your time. I'm taking some hip circles here. Heart energy, color green. Love to any of the piece parts of the body that are feeling under the weather. Okay, left leg extends. Square up your hips. Point the toes. Tap the left foot on the ground and lift it back up. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Bend your knee. Find your quad stretch, either using your hand or not. Heart forward. Moving into a more complete balance. Right arm forward, left leg behind you, heel reaching away. Right hand on the mat, the left leg sweeps over the right. The top side of the left foot comes onto the ground, and we glide that leg back and out, front of the left hip, near the right heel. If you're not feeling an opening in the right glutes, tuck your left toes under, lift the left knee. Oh yeah, a rock forward and backward. Draw back to a three-legged tabletop. Draw your knee above your left elbow. Inhale, extend, and the knee returns to the mat. Happy hip circles. Sway. Cats and cows. Let's work on our hands and wrists. So we're going to draw the sitting bones not quite back to your heels. Place the backs of the hands onto the mat near your knees. And see if you can get the space right in front of the wrist to come to the mat. And this might be plenty. No injuries, please. Heart energy, maybe a green thread from your heart chakra into your wrist, because this one might be kind of tight. You might even squeeze your fingers into a fist. We're opening up the outer edge of the wrists, the tops of the forearms, and maybe, if you're like me at all, a little bit of your elbows. Then we're going to switcheroo. Palms to the mat with fingers either facing out or more toward your knees. Doesn't have to be perfect. There is no perfect. And nothing is permanent anyway. So thumbs a little closer to the index finger, and then we work the heels of the hands, the insides of the wrists, and the insides of the forearms. All righty. Tabletop, belly in, hands forward a couple of inches, toes tuck under, downward dog. Lift your hips, press your chest energy toward your thighs. Maybe a walking of the feet, bending in and out of the knees like bicycling. We're using the finger pads, not just the heels of the hands. We're using the belly, not just the arms. Left foot comes a little more right, sort of toward the center of the mat, and the right leg floats high. Your right knee comes toward your nose. You're going to bring the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, extend the leg, and bring the right foot down. Switcheroo. Right foot toward the middle, left leg floats, shoulders come forward, belly's working as you draw the left knee toward your nose. Extend, downward dog, beautiful. Rise to the tiptoes, bend the knees a lot, look past your hands and make your way to them. A forward fold at the front of your mat, hop, skip, walk, jump, dance. Maybe a ragdoll here, or some other bind, finding your breath, slowing its cadence. Noggin is loose. Hands release. Palms draw to your shins, a halfway lift, long, flat spine. Your bottom might lower a little bit because you want your bottom and your shoulders in the same plane. It's a plane, it's a plane. Exhale for a forward fold. Halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Shoulders back. Collarbones wide. Release and fold. Uttanasana. And again, half lift. Forward fold. Float, unraveling up to standing. A little pause and mountain with the hands by the sides. And then the arms sweep out and up overhead and hands come to your heart. Samasthihi. Drop your hands by your sides. Float them overhead once again. Take a hold of your right wrist with your left fingertips. Do not anticipate. Give a little tug to the right arm, getting taller on both sides of the body, and then tilt to the left. Extra energy in the outer edge of the right foot. Drop your head forward. How'd you talk that way? Rise up, twinkle your fingers toward the sky, then take a hold of your left wrist. No anticipation. We're going to lift that left arm, open up both sides of the body, and then tilt to the right. Rise up. Exhale, chair pose, hands at your heart. Energy is in your heels, belly is in and up. Tailbone tucks a little bit forward. Inhale, sweep high. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to move through our chaturanga. It might be the only one we do today. Halfway lift. Forward fold. A step or a float back, high plank where you pause, finding length and power and evenness in your plank. If you need to drop your knees, do so now. And everybody shift their heart forward, lower halfway down, elbows in toward your rib cage. Then find your way into your back bend. Can be any back bend your heart desires. Open up, squeeze the shoulders together, and return to downward dog, maybe through a tabletop. We make our way back to the front of the mat. This forward fold, we take another bind of our choice. I will choose Yogi Toe Lock. Peace fingers come inside the big toes. Thumbs rest on the top of the big toes. There's a halfway lift. And as the forward fold takes place, the elbows bend outward left and right. Release the bind. Keeping it slow, half lift. Collarbone smile. Forward fold. Left foot comes way to the back of the mat. Runner's lunge. If you need blocks, take them. You can always use rolled up blankets. In practice, for a different set of movement, we're going to tap the left knee down and then bring it back up. Tap the left knee, bring it back up. Be sure when you bring it back up, you put lots of energy into that heel and that quad, and the heart is reaching forward. One more time. Tap and lift. We're going to move into a twist. Left hand down onto a block if you need it. Right arm peels up to the sky. Both feet firmly on the ground. Watch that right knee. It likes to splay outward. If you like a half bind or it feels better, you can bring your right hand to your low back, into a bind, or to your hip. And exhale both hands to the earth. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Hike that back foot halfway up the mat. You might move it out to the left a little bit. I'm going to take my blocks. You want your hips squared up. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold over your right leg. You want both legs straight if you can, but if the right leg needs to have a slight bend in it, feel free. If you like a reverse pyramid, feel free to take that here with the left hand down and the right arm high. I'm going the pure route today. I'm going to take a half standing split. So I move my blocks forward a little bit. You might move your hands forward a little bit. I'm going to press lots of weight into the right heel and leg and float the left leg up. Draw the knee toward your nose and then step into chair pose. Not just because it rhymes, but I like that it does. Utkatasana. In prep for our peak pose series, hands to your heart and lift the right knee to your chest. Stay here with the bent left knee. Drishti, single point of focus, and bring your right foot down. Rise up. To stand, we take that to the other side, forward fold. halfway lift, and a fold. Runner's lunge. This time, right foot steps way to the back of the mat. Heart energy moves forward. Belly energy moves upward. Shoulder energy moves toward your hips. Slowly tap the back knee. Extend. Tap. Extend. And third time. Extend. And your twist. Right hand down, left arm high, or the heel of the hand at your low back. Keep the left knee pointing forward. Take a bind if you like it. Or even if you don't like it and you're just working on it. Left hand comes down. We take a step halfway up with the back leg. Maybe widen your stance for pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Really pressing into the ball of that front foot to even the hips out. Blocks and or hands move forward a couple of inches. Standing split. Knee to your nose. Chair pose. Energy into your right foot, the left knee lifts up. Left knee down, rise up, mountain pose, hands drop by your sides. All right, so you know when you walk, the best propelling is for opposite arm swinging the opposite leg. So that's sort of the approach we're taking here. What do you think about that for a second? All right, so the energy is going to go into the left foot, the right knee lifts, the left arm lifts, and the right arm comes behind us. What we're going to do, and don't worry if you fall out of it, it happens, is we're going to come backwards, switch the arms, tap the right leg onto the ground. We're going to come back up with the knee, switch the arms. Take two more of those. Reach, 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 reach. Tap when you're ready. And then come back up. And if you need a proper wall, take it. And a reach, 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 leg behind. Tap the back foot and come back up. Beautiful. And everything comes down and we shake it out. We shall take that to the other side. And don't worry, we're going to do the whole thing a second time around. And then that will be our peak practice. So left knee up, right arm up, left arm behind. Switch. Reaching the leg back. Tap down. This side's a little harder for me. Come back up. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Whoa. You must make funny noises when you fall over. And we switch, reaching the leg back. That's a big whoa. Balance on this side, hard one. Tap the left leg down. Come back up. And one more time. Rise back up and shake it out. This time what we're going to do is after we lift the knee, reach the leg back and bring the toe down, we're going to bring the knee down as well. Right foot up, left arm up, right arm behind you. Sweep, right leg back, toe touches down. Keep your arms as they are. Squeeze the shoulder blades and open the heart. Tap your right knee down. Lift your right knee and sweep the knee up and down. Nice. Other way, left knee lifts, right arm lifts, left arm behind, squeeze the shoulder blades, shift backward, take your time, opposite arms, toe touches down, knee touches down, rise back up, left knee up. Nice job, hands at your side, shake it out. Woohoo! Balance, quads, hips, breath, arms overhead. We're going to take chair pose one more time. Utkatasana. Left arm forward, right arm behind for an east-west twist. Work the hips square. Look down at your knees. If your left knee just scurried in front of your right, you're going to bring it back. Inhale forward, arms up. Stay in your chair. Exhale, twist to the other side. Again, take a peek down. If your right knee snuck in front of your left, draw it back. Arms up. Let's drop the hands to the low back. Lengthen the arms. Fold over the legs. Maintain your bind. Hands release, halfway lift. Forward fold, a step, step back, high plank, low plank, high plank, knees to the mat. Talked a lot today and practiced a lot for heart opening. So we're going to take our final heart opener. The heart chakra is called Anahata. And the pose we're going to take is Anahatasana. So we're opening up space for that energy wheel, that wheel of life, the color green, the center of loving kindness and compassion. It's like a gem, and it's always there. But sometimes it's obfuscated by all kinds of stuff, life, illness, sadness, maybe even happiness. And remember that, the highs and the lows are not what the human condition is about. The human condition is about finding the balance where we're not suffering and yet we're not sort of manically delighted. So we're going to come in to tabletop, draw the belly in, keep the hips and knees aligned. And then as you walk your hands forward, just check your bottom. It should be right over your knees, but you're walking your hands forward until the forehead, chin, or chest comes to the mat. Maybe your elbows bend out left to right. You're working to soften that space around the heart. Even if you feel vulnerable, you're facing Mother Earth, and gravity is kind of giving you a hug right around your heart, right around your body, around your shoulder blades. Come back to your intention or your dedication or whatever brought you to your mat, and stay here for 5 breaths. You're going to tuck your tailbone under, draw yourself back to your heels. We're going to take it right down to the mat on our backs for the final 5 minutes of practice. Boy, that went fast. You're welcome to keep your feet on the ground as you come to your back. Just take a little movement of the hips upward, your pelvis upward, and then bring the low back onto the mat once again. Feet are about hips width distance. Cross your right knee over your left, like if you were sitting in a chair and you happen to cross your legs. We don't all do it. Shoulder blades kiss the ground. Move your left foot out to the left about 1 step. Then go ahead and drop the knees to the right, arms flop out. Gaze moves over toward the left, even if your eyes are closed. Top hip energy driving forward. Chest, shoulders, arms, head relaxed. We're going to move into that on the other side, so you might scoot your left foot inward before you point the knees toward the sky. Switch it up, straighten your spine, left knee over right. Right foot, heel toes out to the right a little bit, and then the knees drop to the left, gaze opposite. And scooch that right foot in a little bit, point the knees toward the sky, unhook the leg cross, shift so your spine is all the way on the ground, and final posture before Shavasana is Yogi's Choice. Might be Supta Baddha Konasana, a happy baby, hug the knees in, rock left and right, virtual legs up the wall, so many choices. Wherever you go, if you can, and it makes sense for the posture, you'll rock a little left and a little right, massaging out your low back. And then we all meet in Shavasana. I'm going to use Supta Baddha Konasana for that today. Big, huge breath in. Full breath out. The body, the breath, the heart, mind seek equilibrium, seek happiness. And yet, all humans on earth are habituated in suffering. If we remind ourselves that we have this beautiful green gem of light, pure, at our heart center. And we can use that to infuse our entire being, our bodies, our minds, our breath, in support of comfort and unconditional love. And that we can send that energy outward, helping others reduce, mitigate, or eliminate their suffering and reach unconditional love for themselves. Find your way onto one side or directly up to a seat. I like the side first sometimes, and sometimes I like to rock and roll up to a seat. We're going to close our practice here with the hands at the heart and finding our way into a vocalized Om. If you feel like chanting, if you would prefer not, just imagine that it's coming out on the air of your breath. We'll breathe all the air out of the lungs first. Inhale as fully as you can. Thumb knuckles to the center forehead. May you share loving kindness with yourself, with those you love unconditionally, with those you barely know, and with those whom you might have some sort of bias against, but most of all, bring it home to yourself. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great to be here with you. Don't forget, practice again during the week. There are plenty of videos. You might need more hip opening. You might need more meditation. You might need more heart opening. You can find it on this plethora of videos on our YouTube channel. If you are interested in our retreat, even if it's not to stay overnight, please, please, please reach out. We would love to share it with you. Have a great week, day, evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in time. And I will not see you again soon because you'll see me. Take care.